everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. Today, I want to talk about three pieces of important news, which one is about the possible secret agreement between Xi Jinping and Putin. One is about Xi Jinping's accelerated preparation for a full-scale invasion of Taiwan. And the third is about the vice chairman of the CCP Central Military Commission, which may also be related to the attack on Taiwan. Now, the first one. According to Chinese language YouTuber Tang Jingyuan, the CCP has helped the Russian elites to transfer huge amounts of assets through Hong Kong some time ago. According to Tang Jinyuan's source from China, this matter was coordinated by the CCP Central National Security Commission and directly operated by the CCP's Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation. As the Russian power brokers were very worried that their assets in Europe would be frozen due to the U.S. sanctions, the CCP helped them transfer their assets to the accounts of some Chinese private enterprises in Hong Kong, and then from those accounts to another account in Hong Kong. Although this account appears to be opened by the Chinese, it is actually controlled by the Russians. In this way, the CCP has helped the Russian elites to complete the transfer of huge amounts of assets. Although it is difficult to verify this information by other means, there is a clause in the 10,000-word non-joint declaration signed by Putin and Xi Jinping during Putin's visit to Beijing that may be able to serve as indirect confirmation of this important. This clause in the joint statement says, quote, both parties believe that in accordance with the fundamental principles of international law of sovereign equality of states, it is necessary to strictly abide by international obligations regarding the immunity of states and their property, including sovereign reserves. Both parties condemn attempts to confiscate foreign assets and property, emphasizing that the victim state has the right to take countermeasures in accordance with international law. Both parties are determined to protect each other's state property in their respective countries and to guarantee the safety, inviolability, and timely return of the other country's state property during its temporary transfer to their respective countries, unquote. At the time this statement was made, there was a lot of speculation about what this paragraph meant. Both parties are determined to protect each other's state property in their respective countries and to guarantee the safety, inviolability, and timely return of the other country's state property during its temporary transfer to their respective countries. At that time, many people did not quite understand what this meant. Now, after learning that the CCP helped the Russian power brokers to transfer their assets, people finally understand the meaning of this clause. So it could be highly possible that the CCP and Russia may have signed a secret pact stipulating that both sides will use their own conveniences, tools, and assets to transfer the overseas assets of the other side's high-ranking power brokers to a safe place so that these assets don't get frozen or even confiscated. If this is really the case, it means that Xi Jinping and Putin have already made up their minds to have a showdown with the free world, and they think that the time for the showdown is already very urgent. Actually, we don't need an inside scoop on this one. On May 31st, the CCP's Ministry of Defense declared that the Chinese army is ready, together with the Russian army, to defend justice in the world. The official representative of the CCP's Ministry of Defense, Wu Qian, stressed that the Chinese armed forces are willing to work together with the Russian army to fully implement the important consensus reached by the heads of state of the two states of the two countries, and together with the Russian counterparts defend international justice and impartiality and make every effort to ensure international and regional security. Wu Qian also said that PLA exercises around Taiwan are a necessary, reasonable, and legitimate step aimed at combating Taipei's attempt to proclaim Taiwan independence by enlisting the support of external forces. He said that Taiwan is a part of China and the choice of ways to resolve the Taiwan issue is exclusively an internal matter of China if necessary. The PLA is ready to defend the national sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country with practical actions. Then on June the 2nd, Dong Jun, the CCP's new Minister of National Defense, even threatened anyone who dares to split Taiwan from China will be crushed to pieces and face self-destruction. The English translation of his Chinese from a lot of English media outlets are just too polite. They failed to translate his Chinese words 粉身碎骨, which means crushes to pieces, reduced to dust, or pulverized. It is the most vicious and severe way to describe how you want someone to die. So such extreme words have been used by the CCP's defense minister at an international summit. Do we need any other evidence to prove the CCP's determination? As a matter of fact, Xi Jinping's war preparations for the invasion of Taiwan have already entered the fast lane starting from April. He has already ordered that comprehensive preparations should be made, and the focus is to raise funds for the war. As we have said before, the CCP might have already set aside two huge sums of money as war funds. One is the foreign exchange balance of about $2 trillion, which cannot be found in any of the CCP's macroeconomic data, as if it had disappeared into thin air. Economics were very much puzzled by it. Later, Canadian writer Lao Zheng came out to unravel the mystery, and it turned out that the disappeared $2 trillion foreign exchange balance was used by the CCP to secretly set up a fund called the Rejuvenation Fund. The reason the CCP set up this fund was to prepare for a future war against Taiwan. Xi Jinping's younger brother Xi Jinping is the chairman of this fund. Another huge amount of war money came from the confiscated property of the corrupt CCP officials. You know, the CCP itself admitted that as many as 5 million CCP officials have been purged in Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign in the past decade. According to information from within the CCP, the average amount of property confiscated from purged officials is about 50 million yuan each. If this is the case, then the funds obtained through the confiscation of these purged officials are 250 trillion yuan, or about 35 trillion US dollars. This piece of information came out around November last year. Several days ago, Tang Jingyuan revealed that Liu Yuan, the son of former chairman of China Liu Shaoqi, has been caught by Xi Jinping in the act of embezzlement and was forced to hand over 2 billion RMB yuan, or about 267 million US dollars. If one single corrupt official can surrender so much, it is not surprising that the money surrendered by 5 million corrupt officials in 10 years is equivalent to the financial revenue of the Chinese government in 10 years. In this way, we can say that multiple sources have confirmed that the CCP has already prepared huge war funds and is still stepping up its preparation. The third piece of information is that an internal document was circulated among senior CCP officials in late April of this year, saying that Zhang Youxia, the vice chairman of the CCP Central Military Commission, had already been put under internal control. In fact, this is not the first time that news about Zhang Youxia's possible downfall has been rumored. As early as September last year, it was already said that Li Shangfu, the CCP's former Minister of Defense, who had been removed, had already confessed to 17 senior military officers, including Zhang Youxia. However, after that, Zhang Youxia made a number of public appearances, which seemed to indicate that nothing had gone wrong with him. However, the revelation this time is that he was put under internal control at the end of April. I have checked and found that the last time Zhang Youxia made a public appearance was on April 22nd this year, when he attended the opening ceremony of the 19th annual meeting of the Western Pacific Naval Forum held in Qingdao, Shandong Province. More than a month has passed since then, but we have not seen any updated reports on Zhang Youxia nor any news of his appearance. So it is really possible that he was taken under control after the end of April. If this is really the case, what could be the reason for his absence? It was previously said that the real reason for the downfall of Li Shangfu and former CCP Foreign Minister Qin Gang was because they were involved in the so-called non-official activities of CCP's former head Jiang Zemin's faction. Therefore, if something really happened to Zhang Youxia as well, the real reason could also be political instead of corruption. Xi Jinping's biggest political issue now is to take Taiwan. Then it is very likely that Zhang Youxia has different views from Xi Jinping on this issue and even opposes the attack on Taiwan. Rumors have been circulating for some time now that the famous former political commissar of the PLS National Defense University, Air Force Admiral Liu Yazhou, was sentenced to death penalty with a 2-year reprieve. Recently, some people say that he has sent to Beijing's Qincheng prison, which is especially used to detain important political prisoners. The surface reason used to punish Liu Yazhou was corruption. but in fact, it was because his opposition to attacking Taiwan by force was influential in the military. To eliminate his influence, Xi had to dispose of him. So if Zhang Youxia is also in trouble, then it is very likely that it is also due to the fact that he holds a different view from Xi Jinping on the Taiwan issue. There have also been recent rumors that the CCP's second generation raids have gone from opposing the attack on Taiwan to encouraging Xi Jinping to attack Taiwan, not because they believe that Taiwan should be attacked, but because they want to take advantage of Xi Jinping's attack on Taiwan to stage an internal coup or even a military coup in order to overthrow Xi Jinping. It is difficult to prove or disapprove such rumors. However, if Xi Jinping really launches an attack on Taiwan, apart from having to cope with external counterattacks, it may really trigger off drastic internal changes in China because there are simply too many people who are dissatisfied with Xi Jinping. Therefore, if Xi Jinping dares to start a war rashly, it is still uncertain who will be destroyed in the end. Do you agree? Leave us a comment and tell us what you think. Well, that's all for today. Since I shared how I had been suppressed severely by YouTube in the last 4 years in my last video, several new members have signed up for a membership at my website at jenniferzengblog.com. I'm deeply grateful for every bit of support I have received. Thank you for giving me the courage to do what I have been doing. Thank you. Have a nice weekend and see you next time.